Chers auditeurs,
Dear listeners,
bonjour.
welcome to Comme d'Archi Podcast Season 6.
Saison 6, dans le monde fascinant des architectes.
And in the architectural projects.
Je suis Anne-Charlotte Deponte, passionnée d'architecture et docteur des universités en histoire de l'archi.
I am one of the spokespersons of Anne-Charlotte, who is a PhD in architecture history.
Merci
Thank you
d'être avec moi aujourd'hui.
to be with us today.
Et
And
maintenant,
now,
lundi en français, place au talent.
and Wednesday, let's talk projects. In English, of course.
Bienvenue dans Comme d'Archi.
Dear listeners, this is Esther on behalf of Anne-Charlotte. Welcome to this new Comme d'Archi in English with a focus on two very interesting projects by the Parisian office Déchelette Architecture. The company was created less than 10 years ago by a sister and a brother. The first project is Casa Franca. In a small cobblestone street in the 18th arrondissement of Paris, at the heart of a group of townhouses, committed artist and founder of the Green Line Foundation, Sarah Valente, wanted to create a hybrid dwelling between a place for artistic experimentation meeting place, exhibition space, and residence, respectful of the ecological issues of our time. With this in mind, brother and sister architects Philibert and Emmanuelle Déchelette were able to translate the client's wishes into an ambitious program of responsible Adobe home, the first of its kind in Paris. Thanks to the synergy between owner and architects, to the dedication of craftsmen, and the imagination of a team of committed young creatives, the Casa Franca project stands at the crossroads of architecture and art, offering an ode to the forest immersive and habitable. This project, conceived as an ecological but also poetic manifesto, innovates through, first, an innovative program, an artist's home, residence, workshop, and office. Casa Franca is designed to welcome and entertain. In particular, it will be the headquarters of the Green Line Foundation, GLF. Second, a carbon-free construction. The use of bio-based, unprocessed, and local materials for the construction of a low-energy house. The experimental façade is made of handmade and on-site rammed earth. Third, a total architecture. The design of the furniture and interior details by architects, artists, and craftsmen is entirely bespoke. These interventions are an integral part of the architecture and soul of the house. A fertile ecosystem of young creatives, the unique realization and future use of the house has created a synergy of committed players. An ode to the forest, to echo the work of the artist and her foundation for the preservation of forests. Many details recall the spirit of the forest. Animals, trees, and plants are symbolized throughout the house. The construction of this house made the most of biosourced materials, sustainable and local materials. With the exception of the concrete basement and first floor base, the entire structure is made of wood. In keeping with the C2C approach, cradle to cradle, and low-impact materials, the team opted for rammed earth. The self-supporting rammed earth facade innovates through the generous and contemporary dimensions of the openings in the earthen facade, as well as the fact that, in an urban environment on site, a first in Paris. On this site, the application of pisé was a challenge. Craftsman Vincent Robin, who came specially from Grenoble, handcrafted the 3 facade levels on site. The lintels are made of steel. The squared-off shape of the lintels provides a visually refined, monolithic facade, highlighting the unique aspect of the granular, stratified rammed earth. The use of the traditional low-tech rammed earth technique is carbon-free. concrete construction represents 250 kilograms CO2 equivalent, compared with 23 kilograms CO2 equivalent for earth. It enables the whole house to benefit from hygrothermal, acoustic, and thermal inertia. In order to create an urban and Parisian style to the use of rammed earth, it was proposed to work the facades set back from the street, as well as various details of the house, in a chromed finish, zinc, aluminum, stainless steel. This combination not only sets the project in context, but also offers an attractive and original complementary duality to two contrasting materials. On the one hand, rammed earth, grainy, natural, thick, heavy and porous. On the other, metal, smooth, industrialized, luminous, and very fine. In a quest for thermal optimization, the orientation of the rooms, the installation of a natural and virtuous ventilation system, heat recovery, the recovery of rainwater, and the use of natural insulation all make it possible to respond in the best possible way to the question of architectural ecology. In the same vein, and in response to the facade, the roof is planted with 35 centimeters of substrate, enabling a small plant ecosystem designed by Nissa Paysage to grow. The second project is 17 Rue des Quatre-Cheminées. In January 2021, Déchelette Architecture won a competition launched by Seine-Ouest Habitat et Patrimoine to design a building at 17 Rue des Quatre-Cheminées in Boulogne-Billancourt, next to Paris. The program is clear: to conceive a 4-story building with 8 social housing units and a shop, using a wooden structure that promotes the use of environmentally friendly materials. The project stands out for its design, which is marked by simplicity. Déchelette Architecture takes great care to use as many unprocessed and biosourced materials as possible, without compromising the comfort of the residents. To meet these ambitions, the architects have designed a building with a raw earth facade and a stone base on the street side, and a wooden facade on the garden side. The use of self-supporting raw earth across 4 levels of the facade is a first for collective housing in France. The building is located at 17 Rue des Quatre-Cheminées, adjacent to the Billancourt market. Seine-Ouest Habitat et Patrimoine, SOHP, asked the winning architects to create an innovative building that promotes the use of materials with a low environmental impact. To support SOHP's ambitions and the experimentation with new construction methods, the city of Boulogne-Billancourt, which owns the land, transferred the parcel to the social housing provider for the symbolic sum of €1. Déchelette Architecture was given full responsibility for the project, overseeing the design and construction management. The architects also guided the on-site teams in working with raw earth, a unique material. The building rises 5 stories, including a ground floor, 4 levels of apartments, and a green roof. The building is structured around a central circulation core. On the ground floor, the building is divided into 2 independent cross-through entities: the shop and the residential access. Passers-by will be able to glimpse the garden from the street. The rear of the plot, often disconnected from urban space, is landscaped and connected. The staircase benefits from ample natural light facing the garden. Each floor has 2 nearly identical dual-aspect apartments, with living rooms located along the street and quieter sleeping areas facing the garden. The street-facing openings, oriented southwest, are beveled to maximize natural light. The bedrooms, ideally facing southeast, are extended by sunny balconies. The dual aspect design of the apartments ensures abundant natural light throughout the day and effective natural ventilation. The building's compact rectangular shape optimizes energy needs. In a cradle-to-cradle, C2C construction approach using low-impact materials, the architects chose raw, biosourced materials. The use of concrete is kept to a minimum. Except for the ground floor slab and the circulation core, the project uses 3 unprocessed and biosourced materials: stone, raw earth, and wood. The self-supporting facade is made of prefabricated rammed earth over 4 levels, resting on a stone base, an unprecedented approach for collective housing in France. The facade, designed as a monolith, was assembled in just a few days by stacking pre-dried blocks. Theriot, a young company specialized in the production of prefabricated rammed earth blocks, answered the call for tenders. They crafted and dried the rammed earth blocks in their workshop near Lyon, where the raw earth comes from. They also trained the general contractor, STM LBTP, in the installation of the blocks on site. Using raw earth on the facade reduces the carbon footprint of the construction, 23 kg CO2 EQ for rammed earth versus 250 kg CO2 EQ for concrete, and economizes materials throughout a principle of facade purification. Its thermal, acoustic, inertial, and aesthetic properties significantly enhance the comfort of residents in both summer and winter. The building's framing and structural elements are made of wood, incorporating high-performance acoustic insulation panels made of wood wool. The organic character of the wood, more rural than urban, was chosen for the rear facade to create a dialogue with the landscaped garden. By using these raw, biosourced materials, the project's carbon footprint is significantly reduced, as demonstrated by the operation's carbon balance, PCE 793 km CO2 EQ per square meter. The relevance of using these low-impact materials has been validated by surpassing the initial low-carbon objectives, achieving the highest level of HQE qualification at level 3. All the building elements were prefabricated off-site, including the concrete staircase, wooden structure, and rammed earth blocks, which were then assembled on-site, with the exception of the ground floor slab, which was cast on-site. Off-site prefabrication significantly reduced the construction time by 5 months for the rammed earth alone, and thus minimized the risk of incidents while optimizing costs. All the rammed earth blocks were shaped in individual molds using a pneumatic rammer mounted on a gantry and dried in a workshop on the outskirts of Lyon before being transported to Rue des Quatre-Cheminées, where they were assembled in 1 month by 3 masons. This corresponds to the installation of 12 to 15 square meters of facade walls per day. The speed of this technique reintroduces the possibility of constructing a raw earth facade in the city center. The ease of assembly due to prefabrication not only improves working conditions, but also fosters innovation. It also enables a clean, dry construction site by limiting water runoff, waste, and noise pollution for the workers and the surrounding residents. Dear listeners, thank you for your faithful listening. Let's meet again next week for a new Comme d'Archi in English. And until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening.
And thanks to the sound engineer who was collaborating with us today.
Don't forget to tune in to our previews on Instagram at Comme d'Archi Podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, don't hesitate to promote it by giving it 5 stars and a little comment on Apple Podcast or on your favorite podcast platform. And above all, subscribe to listen to all of our episodes for free. See you soon, and until then, take care of yourself.